What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In the part 1 we set up our XAMPP server, create our project structure and connect it to the database. Now in part 2 we are going to start working on the menu logic inside menu functions.php. This is where we will prepare the code that will fetch items from the database and organize them into a proper nested menu. First we create a function called fetch menu items. This function takes our video connection and runs SQL query on the menu items table. It selects only active menu item and we order them so that the parent item appears first, followed by their children. Finally, we fetch all results and return them as an array. Next, we create a function called buildTree. The purpose of this function is to take the flat list of items from the database and organize them into a tree structure. It does this by looping through all items, checking their parent ID, and grouping children under the correct parent. This will allow us to support multiple levels of nesting in the mega menu. Next, we will be working inside the menu.php file. Inside menu.php file, we first include the db.php and the menu functions.php file. Then we fetch all the menu items from the database into rows variable. Then use a buildTree function to turn them into a nested tree structure. Next, I'm gonna var dump that so we can see if the data is fetching or not. Now let's see this in the browser. So I'm gonna go to that file. It's inside API and menu.php and we got the error. So we need to fix this error. No such file or directory in menu.php. So it is not finding that file. So let's back to VS Code, and if we look here, we have a menu functions and there is only function. So we have a spelling mistake. We need to fix that. Now let's try again and we still that error. So it is actually not finding the exact file. We need to fix the path as well. Alright, so I think it should work now. And that's it. Now it is working perfectly. We are getting the rows. Next, we will check the trees so we can confirm that everything's working fine. Let's check again. Let me refresh and we are getting the trees. So that's mean our both function is working perfectly. Then we set the header so the browser know we are sending JSON data in UTF-8 format. After that we add a cache header which allows the response to be stored for 60 seconds. Finally we convert our PHP array into JSON and output it, ensuring that characters like Urdu, Arabic and Chinese are displayed correctly without being escaped. In the next step we will be working inside render menu.php. First, we include db.php to connect the database and the menu functions.php to access our helper function. Then we call fetch menu item to get all the menu item from the database and immediately pass the result to buildTree to convert the flat list into the nested tree structure. This tree will later be used to render the menu dynamically in our front end. The render menu function turns a menu tree into an HTML list. It loops through each items, adds a title and recursively render any submenus. Then we loop through each menu item in the tree to check if it has a children and close the list item with li. This allows us to handle both parent and child menu items correctly. Then we create an if statement to check if the item has children. Inside the if we add a button with the item title and open dropdown container. Then we loop through each child and echo it as a link. Finally we close the dropdown with the def tag. And after that inside the else we echo a simple link with the item title and the URL using as a fallback if no URL is provided. Finally we call render menu function to display the menu. And that's it for the render menu.php file. We have created our function for the rendering menu. Now let's test this in a browser. As you can see we have our menu inside the browser. Next we will be working on the header and footer. So I'm gonna create header.php and also create footer.php. Inside the header.php, I have created the header tags. Inside that, I have created a navigation. Then we have a anchor tag for our brand, and after that we create a button, which is the menu button. And inside the div, we have called the render menu.php file. Now let's go to the footer, and inside the footer, I have created a basic footer for our website. Inside the footer, we have our brand, we have our tagline. After that, we have some products. Then we have some static links and the follow link as well. These are static links. If you don't want to add a footer, you can just leave this section. This is not as much important section. Next, we will create the index.php inside the public directory. Then after that, inside the index.php, we include the database and menu function. Then build the menu tree from our database items. Then we set a page title, starter the HTML structure, and in the head section we add mega tags, the dynamic title, and the link to our CSS file. Next, we include the footer template, load our JavaScript file for menu functionality, and finally close the HTML structure. We also have to include the header.php file below the body so we can get our menu at the top of the page. After that, we add the main content area with the hero section, displaying the dynamic page title and a short paragraph for the landing page. Now we have to test this in a browser, so let me open the index.php file. We are getting the brand and the button, but we don't get the menu, so we have some fatal error here. We need to fix that. So let's get back to VS Code, and if we check the header, we are getting the brand and we also getting the button, but we are not getting the render menu.php. So that's mean the error is inside the render menu.php. And if you look here, we are calling the db and menu function again here. We don't need that. Now it is working perfectly. We are getting our main content, navigation, and the footer as well. In the next step, we will be working on the style.css so we can give a style to this page and make this look better. So let me remove this because we don't need that. Inside menu.css, we reset margin and paddings, then style the body with a clean font, light background, and dark text. Then we style the header with a dark background, a white text, and sticky positioning, and make the logo bold with a large font size. After that, we style the menu as a horizontal flex list and position item relatively, and then give a padding to the links and buttons. We also gave a dark text and a hover effect with a dark background and the rounded corners. Then we designed the mega menu as a hidden drop-down panel with a white background, grid layout, padding, rounded corner, and the smooth fade-in effect. The mega menu show on hover and link have padding, dark text, and turn blue when it is hovered. On a small screen, the menu becomes vertical, link stretch with full width, and the mega menu show in one simple column. We also add a fade-in animation to make the menu appear smoothly by moving up and increasing opacity. After that, we style the main area with the padding and center it. Then design the hero section with the big bold title and the lighter paragraph for the intro text. Finally, we style the footer with a dark background, light text, and flexible columns. On small screen, the layout stack vertically and center the content. And that's it for the CSS. Our CSS coding is done. Now in the next step, we will be working on the JavaScript. So let's go to the menu.js file. Inside menu.js file, We wait for the page to fully load with the DOM content loaded, then we select all element with the class menu trigger, which will be used to control opening and closing of the drop-down menus. Then we loop through each menu trigger and a click event, preventing the default action so we can control how the menus opens. After we find the parent menu item of the button and check its area expanded attribute to see if the menu is already open or closed. We first close any other menus by removing the open class and resetting their buttons. Then we toggle the current menu by adding or removing the open class and updating the area expanded attribute. Next, we add a click listener on the whole page, and if the click is outside the menu, all open menus are closed and their button will be reset. Finally, we add a keyboard support so when the escape key is pressed, all open menus will be closed and their button are reset, improving the accessibility. And that's it for the JavaScript. Now let's test this in a different screen size. As you can see, our menu is changing according to different devices. If the one menu is open and we open another one, the first one get closed. One thing I have to change inside the menu.css that menu button color. So it looks more clear. We have to add background color and let's change the font color to black. And now it will look more clearly. Now you can see our menu is looking more clearly. Alright, so now let's change the menu. We have a very small menu inside our database. Now we're gonna remove the small one and add the mega menu with a lot of data. So let's insert that. And after that, if we go to table, we have that menu inserted. Inside the page, we also rendering that menu. So the menu is fully dynamic. It all depends on you how many labels you define in the database. Just set up your parent and child item and the menu will automatically render itself no matter how nested it is. And that's it for this tutorial. We have built a fully responsive mega menu with PHP, MySQL, CSS and JavaScript. If you find this helpful, like and subscribe for more tutorials. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.